Our weekly dose of smiles is here with Super Cub episode 7. I just got done with this episode and I thought, why not talk about it in a video? So let's jump into it. Now, as I kind of joked about, there really isn't like crazy theorizing to happen with the Super Cub series, but I did feel like I just wanted to get on here and talk about the episode. I did have a lot of fun with it. I think the great thing about this particular episode of Super Cub is we are really starting to see Koguma really kind of shine as a person. She's now finally kind of getting out there. Like, she's getting out there and she's acting on things now. We had several points throughout this episode where it really does seem like she is no longer the enclosed self. She's stepping forward into situations that you'd normally see her kind of shy away from. Like, we have a goofy moment where she kind of drags Reiko into the direction she needs to go. Like, focus. We went to get gloves, and Reiko is doing her usual, oh, this is over here. And she's like, no, you're going over here. Having this moment where the class themselves are trying to put together this cafe thing. One of the nearby schools was supposed to have one of their espresso machines brought over, and hearing this, Kogame decided, I can do it. I will go get it. We'll go get it. Here's she even laid out, like, here's a backup plan and everything. Hey, can Reiko go get the equipment? We need to put it on here, put it on there. She's a go-getter now. And that's absolutely fantastic. This series has seen so much growth in this character, which for most people, I mean, if you're not an outgoing person, or if you're an outgoing person or whatever, you might see as like trivial. You might see as something that is not significant. But seeing the way that they kind of built this character over time, these changes in her and her willingness to step forward is a significant change for her. And it's something that is, like I said, seeing that growth is, like I joked about in my first impressions, it's literally like watching your own child gain confidence and gain something new and explore something new, discovery, basically building character. And that is something that is absolutely fantastic in what they did. And like I said, is working so well in episode 7 as well. I did get a kick out of the fact that when the teacher from the other school, which was the one that she was delivering the papers to before, when she realized what these Super Cubs are able to do, she's like, man, I need to go get myself a Super Cub. I think she said her little brother has one that she thinks she want to grab, and Kogame was like, no, you shouldn't get. Kogame is like, no, you shouldn't get something that's old because they don't last forever. And I'm trying to figure out what they implied here, but it was like this moment of her going, because the ones that are old, they do break, and that becomes problems. And she said something like, well, I'm kind of okay with that. And she looked over at Reiko, and Reiko's like, nod, and then Koguma's like, what? Like, are we implying, like, are we one of those like middle-aged women that has no relationships and she's fine with an older man or something like that? It felt like that innuendo or something like that. But anyways, of course, in this episode we had a lot of focus on she herself. She is this other classmate that was the one that was, heading this whole cultural festival thing for the class, and she was putting together the Italian bar. And her, like, watching everything that Koguma does and Reiko does, and kind of being inspired by the Super Cub, which was odd because when they kind of opened this episode, I was assuming it's going to be like, okay, she's going to be one of those ones where she's a closet biker and she's got a bike and everything. But it does look like, technically based off the intro, we do see that she does eventually get a Super Cub. But having that aspect of like, okay, no, this is going to be a first time for her too. She's going to be similar to Kogame, where she's going to learn about it and then get inspired to possibly go get one herself. She says something to the effect that she is clumsy and she falls off her own bike, so she would never be able to do a Super Cub. But obviously, this is probably going to be the inspiration she needs to eventually go get one, and then she can kind of get pulled into the fold as well. But yeah, she's adorable too. So we have another case of, oh gosh, here we go. Those smiles. This show is literally like Smiles the animation. Every time these characters smiles, it's a bright for my day. This is, like I said, like before, this is the Yashike show for me every week. Just love it to death. It's so heartwarming to watch. I have to admit, can we assume that it wasn't just a random happenstance, but a mastermind that was pulling the strings this episode. I had to pause because the moment when she was saying, "Oh man, the teacher that was supposed to go get the equipment was never told and they're busy," or something like that. Somebody's like, "Well, we can just get a bike to go out and get it." And some guy's like, "No, bikes would never be able to do that." I'm like, this dude totally is playing everybody in the room right now. He knows there's 2 Super Cub bikers in the room, and he's like, "Psh, that could never work." Yeah, they're totally going to want to work and help us now, aren't they? Yes, they're going to help us now. Great. There's a mastermind in that room, I swear. But it was nice to see that Reiko also got her new Hunter Cub, so that was nice. I kind of was a little bit sad for her in the last episode, but it does look like she went out and got a new one. Was kind of goofy seeing it carrying around this hand trailer, but hey, it worked, I guess, so they were able to do the job. I got to say I think they said it specifically for like udons or whatever, but this delivery kind of attachment that they put on Kokome's Super Cub is probably the ugliest thing I've ever seen, but that's what it's there for. It's to keep it, suspended and not spill. But that was like the ugliest looking thing ever. But it's versatile. They'll say that. But that's my thoughts on episode 7 of Super Cub. Still loving it to death. I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. Hopefully my last video, which didn't really get too much traction, and I'm kind of sad about that. I really wanted to get out the word that Super Cub is a fantastic series, and I hope that people aren't sleeping on it. I'm glad that my brother finally got caught up on it, and he equally had a huge smile on his face. If you want to hear his impressions on the first, I think it was 6 episodes that he covered, check out our last discussional podcast episode. I think it's called Aliens. Watch my censored anime at 1000 speed. Check that out. He has his impressions on the first part of that episode. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, please leave a like down below if you did. Comment, let me know what you thought. Subscribe if you haven't already. And please share this if you can. And I hope you all enjoyed. And y'all take care.